So Mang Romy's posts have been helping us out heaps. He did the seating parries the other day, which we've referred to a few times as hack deflections. And more than anything, it helped was the timing that he brought up. That the time to do it is when your tip isn't forward, which I found really useful against a vertical style attack. Because most of the time, if a vertical style attack's coming, he's just doing like bloomers, or if his tips forward or something like that comes, he's just going to be like rolling defensively, and that's a safer move for both of them. If the tip's forward, or even if the tip's not pointed forward, a lot of time the plumer is the option against like the vertical. But if for whatever reason, I think of it as more of like a mid attack. Like maybe I've done like some kind of circular motion, I've passed and rotated, and you've seen that window kind of thing in this situation because that's coming vertically here, and this isn't pointed at you. I'm defensively not as good, and maybe I won't be able to get the roof block back in time. I might get hit as it's just going. So instead, he's saying turn that and hack and clear that, and it clears a path. You can go straight into like an attack through here. Yeah. It can be. It's nearly always to the center line and stop, which is very Ilustrisimo, and I see it a lot of time if it's off, like coming out like that. It's just clearing it so that you can come through with something. You could technically, if you wanted to be safer and you just weren't sure, you could try to just do something like more Largo-y and go there. You can pick up different targets for it. I also see it for if someone is like this and they come up and that's all something pointed up and it's too close to them. A lot of times you can power just straight through. And if you hadn't pulled back too far, I can just hit that and actually get through the head. I mean, if you time it and you use your like Dorellos, you can make it so that it just hits the tip and it won't hit me and it'll clear through. But if you can get a deeper shot on there, it's going to power through it. So that's what I see as the application of the seating parries. It's spelt C-D-I-N-G, which I think like receding, which I think that's because as he throws it, he's receding. It's like, yeah, I think that's the mentality behind it, unless it's seating is like a Tagalog word that I'm not aware of. May have to look that up. But yeah, and in good fashion, Mang Romy keeps doing the subsequent post is the opposite of what he just did, just so he covers the other angles. So a good example of that is he showed the Dina Real, and like you do an attack, and he covered that, and that's like the one where going backwards, and you do another one. You had the one where it was coming forward and jamming, which is the better of them, and then you've got all these options, and it's the chain attack or whatever. It's nearly always from the outside, and then because of that, he then showed the a la contra serrata, which is because people go going, what about the inside? What about the inside? And it's only on the outside of the arm. So then when they do a forehand attack, you have the a la contra serrata, where he's jammed the inside, which would be not the same, but the equivalent or the opposite angle, just to like round out the move. And he paired those together, which I really appreciated. So I'm like, once again, I don't see this as an instructional for like us, like this video that we're doing now. It's just a reference for us if we want to go back over the terms and a slight breakdown of like in our own words for ourselves as a trigger for our memory. I still would say it's better to go like Ray, Mang Romy, learn those things themselves from like the higher ranked Ilustrisimo masters. But yeah, the one we're doing today was Salok. So he did the seating parries for the vertical line. He said the Salok, which is scoop. Like I've said before, I think he's spelt it S-A-L-O-K. I've seen it S-A-L-O-C. I've also seen it S-A-Y-O-C. Salok, Sayok. It just means scoop. And it's similar to the X of Ilustrisimo, but I feel like the X of Ilustrisimo, we're both on the same line, and then you change the line and hopefully like hit them and it misses. We've both done it, so we'll probably both miss there. Yeah. Where if one just keeps going on the line, it hits them on the way. But you're ghosting or umpagathering, like you're not actually making connection a lot of the time. It's like a very like just timed move. And once again with that, the more acute angle usually gets it. If I do a 90 degree and you do a full acute angle, you'll hit me and I'll miss. So it's similar to that, and it's similar to like the seating parries, because the seating parry is hitting like a deflection in the middle, like the hack deflection was the term we gave it, and it's powering through it. I see the Salok as a mix of the two. You're kind of adding the change of the angle of the X, so that you're moving your hand and your body out of the way, but at the same time it's not a dodge, you're actually intercepting the attack. I think of it as you've done a horizontal attack, and you've maybe timed it as I'm stepping forward, and I wouldn't be able to pull my body or my hand back enough because you timed it with my foot.
Yeah.
And like usually we just use our footwork, or we do like some kind of like umpagata kind of movement, or using the ready rada and just timing measurement. But sometimes you get the better timing, and I have to adapt it. This is one of those moves that'll let you adapt for it. So when that comes, we're hitting, and it's about like the top 1/3, hitting around the middle of your machete or bolo. And as that's going, I'm knocking it down and turning it into your hand there. So as that happens, just because I'm stepping forward as it happens, I need to move back again. Because if I simultaneously, my footwork has to move backwards as I do the scoop. Because that's probably going to hit still. So you're going back, but straight off that foot comes straight back in, and we hit the shoulder, the top or head of the machete. Especially if you've got a bolo like this, where it's got the big chunky head, you definitely want that for the power side of it. But I'm not going deep on it there. I want the tip to just partially pass the arm, and I'm coming up underneath. So you do that forehand one again, step back, that's a hack, and I've stepped in here, and that comes straight up under the chin there.
Yep.
Now I've got this position there. This is, usually we would just turn straight into the tendons, pin, and circular side, which is still great option for all the Cordo stuff. What I'm seeing from this is that it's more him getting to like the tricep. Yeah. So like, it's very like I keep thinking of it as like the definitive finishes. Like if I can get to here, there's no way you can come back. I've got complete domination. You can't retract at all, and I'm on the tricep, so you can't counter it essentially. Where even though the circular side's good, I can technically get out. You probably land on me, but I could probably get out and still maybe do some damage if I'm lucky. So but it's still like one of their best go-to moves, and so fast and controlling. So I feel like this is. Do you remember on Ray's sheet of paper and like Mang Romy's like board for the seminar? It had seguidas, and that means like sequences or follow-ups. And it had Salok seguidas. This is what I believe is that this is the follow-up of the Salok. So the Salok itself is just that. And you do a backhand one, same thing. Just hitting and cutting. It's very like horns of the bull, like Renata. It's very like the X, and a bit like the seating parries all mixed together. Everything after that is the seguidas or the sequences and follows up, which is what Mang Romy was showing, and what got me excited, because he did that to me 10, 12 years ago, and I can't get it out of my head how much he controlled me with the machetes. So this one was quite cool. He does that, he steps in, hacks that, comes under. Instead of doing the tendons and circular side here, he uses the bottom 1/3 of his machete, clamps and pushes on that, and he pulls back with his weapon side. Because I was thinking, even if like Cade or Floro was left-handed here, they do it with their left foot because they're left-handed with the sword. So whatever the weapon side is, the foot that retracts. And when you do that, we pivot and drag, and that pulls you through that. I get that, and I can either turn and wait for that as the defense, or if I think I have the timing because I'm behind you, I can pick off back of the knee, back of the wrist, spine, back of the head, whatever. It's like sometimes they'll just drag through, and then the head, like on the back of the neck. And they go, even if we don't get a clean chop, we'll hack the spine. You're like, fair enough. But at this point, you chop the thumb on the first move, you then chop the tendons on the shoulder on the second move, you then got the throat or the arteries on the third move with the stab, and then you've dragged them, taken their balance, gutted them. At that point, I don't think I need the backhand shot. I think I would rather just cover and roll defensively. But I think that whole thing there, that's the equivalent of, because you've taken the balance and you've climbed up onto the tricep. That drag to me is you controlling with the upper half. I think that has more deep control. If you countered it and like I didn't take your balance, then I think I would drag it through your tendons. So like I'll show you what I mean. So I do the forehand one. If I go here, back, this, and as I've done this, you like lowered yourself. So I've done that there. So I didn't get the drag and the gut part. Here I could very easily turn that forearm around, still turn and do my circular side. So I think I would attempt that, and then if you countered it just by any chance, just switch to your normal circular side because it's still available. So I don't think it detracts from anything we already know. It just extends the counter game a little bit. And instead of adding it to the end is still circular side if they counter the other stuff. So you just extended the middle part of the counters, which is way better as a higher level, because I find it better to add at the beginning or in the middle, because the end is usually already set as the safest thing. So yeah,
it's like a split.
Yeah,
you know at the end you can always do something.
Yeah, exactly. I might get you on that side for a sec, and I'll just do the same thing to you, just so you can show you the forehand side. So, and it's usually more of a horizontal one, and you can do it up here. You're just going to have to, I think, be a little bit more aware.
I thought it was for the angled shots.
It's more horizontal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the other one's more vertical, and the opposite was the horizontal.
Right.
So seating parries for vertical, and for the horizontal ones, it's more of the Salok. You can technically do.
There was the washing of the hands as well.
That's a different thing.
Yeah, through those sides.
Yeah. That's kind of like a seating parry as well. Yeah. So this one, you can do it on the diagonal, but I think instead you can't go straight back as much. I think you might have to do a little bit more of the diagonal ready rider. So just be aware, because it changes the range just for yourself.
Yeah.
But for this one, back, hit the thumb, come in on the shoulder like that, stepping in with the left, I get the throat with the stab. I don't want to come from coming from underneath, you don't even see it. And now here, I'm grabbing with the bottom 1/3, step back and drag, put it through the stomach, and then I turn around, and I've got the defensive side of it all. Bang. Otherwise, if it fails, so if you do the same thing, step back, hit that, come through. If I go to drag and you just drop your weight, and that's there, then I do my normal thing. I turn my forearm around so I don't hit my own tendons, I get your tendons. And I can circular slide, and I can still take the space. Even then, it's not coming off the body. All in the hips. Yeah. All right. Do you want to try that quickly? Or?
Yeah.
I find this stuff so interesting. I know it's a lot. It's a very.
Just making sure you do the right.
It's a very long sequence.
Yeah.
As long as you're retracting your footwork at the beginning, I don't think it matters too much, and I don't think it should matter too much whether you're left foot forward or right foot forward. I do find that I end up stepping in with my left foot when I check that tricep and come underneath.
Well, you're supposed to.
Exactly.
That's all washing.
I want that range of the left
yeah.
foot forward. I don't want this disparity where this is all the way out here and then this has no reach. Because I don't want to be fully out. I feel like I'm very T-Rex. So yeah. So it's forehand. So nice. You're stepping back. With that one though, go a little bit more. The hack in the middle. Just because it's more like you're doing La Granada there. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. And good timing with the step back. Step back in, and you're landing with the head. Yeah, that comes through. Yeah, keep that even tighter. But that's nice there. I say instead of turning that around, this is where I get low there, and I push on that. So like you push with that, pull with that, and I retract my elbow while retracting my right foot in a pivot going backwards, and you get a little bit lower. So like you can just exactly. This turns horizontal, and you just samurai walk through and going through that. I was saying I've turned into the defense here because I'm worried about that. Yeah. Even though you've taken my thumb, neck, shoulder, and everything, I'm worried that'll happen. That being said, if I'm here, you have that. You've got my wrist. You could take that off if you wanted. I still just think the defense is easier. Just
let it go past and drive it.
Exactly. So try it again because it's just an interesting one. If you hadn't moved that foot back, that would have got you then. Nice.
And just drive it.
Bang. And even if that, exactly. Don't come out as far, because I can scoop that away when it's out as far. You want it coming as close to like shoulder as possible. That's good though. You're not going as low as the other day. The other day you went a lot lower. Now you're just passing and slipping it in. That's it. And then that 1/3, then you drop into the that drags so well. And then as long as you go horizontal, I can't stop it. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Nice.
Whatever you want to do.
That's it. Nice.
Yeah.
Do you want to do one more or?
No, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I was saying that looked nice.
Keeping that tight. Not out.
Actually, do one of the failed ones, because I find that interesting as well. That's what made me decide, because I was going, why would I pick this over the circular side? The circular side, I don't have to think, it's so fast and effective, and you still get to kind of like get low and use them as a shield as you're bumping them coming forward. I find that really easy. That's very like their battlefield style. But Mang Romy was like, this was battlefield style too. They both are. And I was like, it's just very interesting. So yeah, the failed version I find is when you do the drag is if I anticipate it and I drop and like don't let you rip me forward, but that's when I just switch back. The only difference is then I turn my forearm around so I don't hit my own tendons, and then I take their tendons out and just do the normal circular side stuff. Yeah. So you got that, nice. So then that comes back, you got that, and then as you go to do the drag here, I lower, so like you go to do the drag, I go to pull me, and that doesn't work as well. I think you just turn that around, you run through the tendons, and lean on and drive that into me, and now circular side, but just make sure you're, retract it every time and come in. Yeah, nice. And you got my arm, tendon, head, shoulder, everything. Yeah, and that feels so natural, right?
Yeah, just
so like,
walking,
so for any reason that you go to drag them, and like, I could very easily see like, we train with a lot of like heavy, stocky, like 90 to 100 kilo grapplers. I'm thinking like, if Matt or Sam Hayden was in class, if Nikos was in class, they would read that, they would just lower their weight and take it and look at you. And I would just go, oh, that didn't work. But just transition, you're going to go. Yeah, nice.
Could also come out to the store.
Yeah, well, it always worked. Like, you go back into the side because the struggles, like,
and like, you know, the holding position. Just
exactly. So, if for whatever reason, that to me is if I escape the circular side. Yeah. So I do the drag. If you can't do the drag, go to circular side. But if you're bumping this and you're doing circular side here, and you've done that, if for whatever reason I'm actually able to get this free, come back, and then you just go into that. And then once again, even if I pull something, if I pull, it doesn't matter. You're set up. Everything loops back into itself. The principles in the system work so cleanly. And then you've still got washing the hands as a backup as well. So if for any reason they disconnect, so if they got free and instead even here, I got like that. And then I just come back in with whatever angle possible. We're close enough that it's dangerous enough, but if you just stay tight and you just think tip forward, roll, and you've got your washing the hands, then I'm probably going to run myself through your blade. And then once again, it's very like a forward mentality once you get to a certain range. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's the forehand side, which is very, I like that little samurai gut thing.
Oh yeah, comes through.
It looks very like movie aesthetic. I'm sure if I do some choreography work, I'll work that into it somehow. But the backhand side was what I really remembered Mang Romy doing to me, just because he had that like rusty blunt machete like in against my artery, and I was going, oh god. But just he had me so jammed up, and I couldn't believe how effective it was. And I tried to figure it out for 10 or 12 years. And it's because I kept doing it like an Estrella, and the Estrella works in that position, but it's a different setup and move. The Estrella, they're trying to remove the arm, like through hacks, where this one, you're hacking through it, but this one's more jamming the arm to prevent the re-attack, and I feel like it's almost popping the bone out of the socket, which is a bit rough. The other one's 3 clean hacks, where this one's 2 hacks, and then it's a jam. And I feel like it's pinky up for the Estrella. And I feel like this one is also almost pinky up with the other. It's the pre-made. It's almost like an Estrella is the pre-made. Where like there you got the thumb on the bottom and the pinky up as you do that final hack. And I feel like the one he's doing is the other short version, which is also pinky up because you got the 5, he's like pretty much the nose together. And he's going up into that, and then that way when he leans, it's turning the weight into the inside of the arm. The easiest way to do that is just to punch upwards. Like that, but I'll show you what I mean, because you can technically still turn it into an Estrella if you want to. It just sets up different things. And I think I was saying to you before, I'd do the Estrella instead of the jamming one if I saw you draw a weapon with the other hand, because it's just a cleaner move to just go straight into the other side offense. And that's what, and it's one of the first things we've learned. It's built in so much. But I'll show you on the backhand side. A lot of the principles are the same. I'm still hitting the same spot. I'm still going to have my foot retracting. It's still sliding down and hitting the thumb, and then off that we're doing a reverse side circular and coming straight in on that shoulder with the top. So it goes the exact same Salok deflection with the foot retraction, and that same foot steps back in to do a vertical shot to the shoulder. That's the exact same as the forehand side. The only difference is that because of the direction we're going, the tip's over here. I point the tip towards my hip a little bit more, and then come down my own body for the reverse side circular. It's like what we do on the normal side circular, it's just a bit harder And it's more like Ray's one where he's like here, and it feels like his fast counter reaction, but you're just turning it more vertical.
See, I was doing it slightly different, but we'll do this.
Yeah,
and I'll just
have the bladed edge forward.
Yeah.
Because like, as long as the bladed edge forward's fine, don't turn it into yourself.
No.
But like, because like this will, like say, because I've done the Salok part, that's just the normal Salok.
Yeah.
Now it's just, now everything from now is the Salok sequitors or sequences following up. So from there, I feel like I'm turning the blade towards you. Like that's all, I've done that, and it looks like
that's
Ray's,
a little bit I
looks,
did differently.
Looks a bit like Ray's bait.
Yeah.
And that's coming through and hitting that shoulder there, right?
Yeah.
Now from this position here, I'm not going too low either. I don't want to go all the way down. I'm only doing a little bit because I could easily hit that or that if I want. But I'm paying more attention to that. As this comes up, I have to frame with my left here, step towards it, and jam that up into the arm, going all the way up here. I'm going to grab the forearm. I'm trying to get my thumb on the pinky side of like the elbow there. It's very like the fang grip disarm. I'm jamming my forearm into that. I don't want it low, just like our normal fang grip disarms or our number 6 stick disarm from the Arnis Silat system, just because you can turn that over and drop on my joint. But if I have it here, now you're fighting my bone. If I point that elbow out, it's doing a little figure 4 more kind of thing. Not to mention if I grip and twist, which I'm going to rev it like the motorbike engine, like our disarms as well. So backhand side, so I'm stepping back, cutting that, reverse side circular, hack that, and I've stepped back in with the lead one. I've still got a bit of a gap, so when this one comes through, I need to come in and jam that, push it, and I'm stepping towards it. I'm not stepping towards you, I'm jamming like that. And at the same time, jamming this. And I think it's very pinky up. You can have it kind of diagonal going into the arm, because I want the bladed part to pick your arm there, but I want it as high and as low on this as possible. Because once this is here, I can rev and twist that, and as I rev and twist that, I can flare, and I punch my punch diagonal up past your shoulder, and it just jams it in there, and it means you can't attack properly. Yeah, it's super close. If I keep walking into this, there's nothing you can really do about that. And you can maybe try it, and it's very similar to what we already do, where if I had just come through, I would hit your stomach and the inside of the tendons there, and pass it through, and we'd step in, do all our like circular side stuff again, up and taking out the tendons. So it doesn't feel too different from us just feeding this set from the Largo stuff, and just getting that locked in on the arm. And even if it's not locked in on the arm, just having the thumb on the underside and twisting it, I'm revving it this way. And I'm trying to turn your punyo to face up. So I'm like, I want your tip grounded. And I once again would step back just on the off chance that that gets dragged through or hits my leg or something. But if I jam this up and do that at the same time, that
I know when you tilt.
Yeah. Once I start leaning, and if I really lean, I'm being nice at the moment because I've got that pointed that way. But if I go to horizontal diagonal like that, and I do full arm extension, point that up and try to push it past the shoulder up here like this. And that's going to absolutely just wreck your arm. It's going to push it all the way behind you, and you can't even like get like the tip gets pushed back like that. But it just feels very controlling, very nice. But it's a simultaneous jamming that there and passing it to the center line. If you don't pass it down to the center line, it doesn't tighten it as much, and you don't have as much control when you leverage with the jam. Yeah, I feel like it's vertical like this or slightly diagonal, and when I lean, it's now looks horizontal. And that edge is on the inside of that artery and tendon on the inside of your arm. Yeah, that lean also just, I lean into you in that way, it's taking your balance too. But that's what Mang Romy was doing to me like 2013 in his backyard, and I'm going, what is this? I don't understand. Like, I was nowhere near the level to even comprehend it. I was like, I could barely understand how he was just covering the distance like so quickly. Like, he had such good timing and measurement. He was using the Cadena Reals. He's using the Salok sequitors, and he's like such like complicated cordo moves, and I was just going, what is happening? Like, all I knew was that he had me trapped and I had no options, and I was just like, can we reset, please? But it's just fascinating. Actually, I might do one more from the other side. Now I'll let you have a crack at it. So it's the backhand side, still step back, hit the thumb, I turn that kind of towards my stomach and do the vertical.
Yeah, that's a bit. I'll show you when I do it.
Yeah, because I'm going here to hack, and then that comes through, and I'm jamming and flaring down. So even there, I lost the punule, but as long as I'm still twisting and revving that, and I've got your punule flaring up, and that's in there, I feel like I've got a lot of control here. Yeah, that feels like I've got more when it's that way than here. Yeah. This doesn't feel as good as it's facing your armpit. This one's actually into your tendons and arteries.
That's because you're wedging both.
Yeah. I would say it's very natural to want to do the Estrella one. As I was saying, if I saw something happen, so I do the backhand again. So if I went here to here, and I was coming around to do this, and I was about to come up for it, but I saw something come with that end, I'm going to do the upward part of the Estrella as if I've gone here to here. And maybe even if I was going to just go that here anyway, let's come back and come through. It's ideally, if you're already halfway through this motion, you're better off redirecting it straight into that hand.
Yeah.
But that's where I changed from doing one of these Salok finishes and the jamming, and I'd switch to the Estrella, is in that situation with the other one.
Right.
Yeah. So can I just see for a sec, if you had a knife in that hand, I just want to see if it actually, the position might be awkward enough that you might not be able to get me. I think you can. I just want to see something. If I go here, bang, to that, to this, and then I did this. You can get me with that, right?
No.
No? Your arm,
Because
when I flared this,
I could reach.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
like
I
that.
was just thinking more in the
But
middle.
this is just so.
But I'm like, you can't.
I can't do
I think
that.
the pain of it would shock you
Yeah.
and make you startle for a sec, but then I think you would just turn it into the
Well,
middle.
I would. So
Yeah.
that was the whole.
So
I realised that.
I think you go up, but then you follow through afterwards. Yeah. I think you would be. I don't think you'd be able to follow properly this
No,
way.
it's like trying to do it.
But like I said, if you curled it down the center line,
definitely.
I'm very close to you still, and I'm very.
I could definitely get you like this.
Yeah, that's what I
But
was
this
thinking.
is like throwing the punch where you're just.
Yeah, no, just fascinating. Because I sometimes you can get into positions where you've just completely taken their balance to the point that they can't even reach across their body like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like this isn't one
Oh
of them.
no, we're
I think the shock of it would startle them and give you an extra beat or two.
Yeah.
But I think after that they're still going to try and stab you.
Yes.
And if they had something bigger, it'd probably reach. So like, yeah. No, good to know. All right. Oh, and it's probably not the ideal, but I'm pretty sure. See, I think this would have to be heavy enough. Like, if this was too light, it's not going to work with the Salok as much. Like, like I can do that, but I think you need the weight to actually knock it down. So if I had something too light and it's just tapping on it, that's probably just going to still go straight.
You'd probably still get my thumb.
I think I'd actually have to punch down a lot more. There's less of the weight of the actual blade and more of me actually punching and sliding. Yeah. Because like, especially if you timed it as I'm stepping forward.
Oh yeah.
And I'd have to do something like that. Coming in, I'm already in this kind of position. As you see, it's almost like we're going into this. Yeah. But if that turns around to come back, it's so easy for me to get to this position here and still go through. Yeah. So it's doable. Let's see the forehand side. So like that. Oops, sorry, that sounded bony.
It was.
Yeah. So get nice and close to that. You got this here, and I could do the tendons and circular side, but this is actually probably easier with a knife for me to just go. Yeah, it's easier to maneuver because it's smaller. Exactly. So I'm like, that's just very fascinating that, because once again, the circular side's not as effective with a knife as it is with a machete. That side hack of a machete is so good. With this, not so much. Yeah. The vertical is pretty good on both, but I'm really thinking of the side part though. The side with a knife, this length and weight is not going to do much compared to the big. Exactly. So I'm like, maybe just automatically go on to circular side if you had a bigger blade. Yeah. But if you had something smaller like this, I love taking the balance. Every time you take the balance, they can't do offense or defense properly.
So much control.
And that's so easy just to pull and gut. Yeah. So I'm like, I can try that. Just one more. Was it the forehand side?
Punching right up.
Yeah. Sticky. Oh wait, vertical on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See that. Bang, hit that. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, here. Clamp. that with your hand, push that here, and then step back and pull it to your hip. Yeah, that's so much easier with that. And then just still walking through the stomach, just punch it in.
Push it out.
Yeah. Oh, make sure you go lower because you hit ribs a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, make sure you get actual stomach.
Yeah. Push down.
Yeah, the ribs will protect me too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. Awesome. So yeah, did you want to do the backhand side again?
So
or the forehand?
Yeah, when we first did this, I felt that movement unusual. I'll just show you what I was trying to do.
Yeah. Forehand one or backhand?
I'll try the backhand first.
Yeah, easy.
So I was pushing down, coming up into this.
Yeah.
Then I found it easy to come up.
Ah, yeah, like if it really is loading like an Estrella.
And down.
Yeah.
And then I was just turning up like you were. It's the same moves.
Yeah.
But then.
Yeah. Get that a little deeper.
Yeah. And also driving this.
Yeah.
Down.
Feeding that through is good. That's it.
I
still have a bit of like freedom with this.
Yeah.
I'd actually grip it and rotate. Yeah, exactly. So see, my arm's straighter. When you rotate it, it turns it into that like right angle, and all the pressure goes into my shoulder, which then tightens my lower back. Yeah. So I could change my posture until you did that. Once you did that, it's like a figure four Kimura, like key lock. I can feel that as well, pushing into it. You got my artery and tendon. Yeah. Like I said, we were saying before, when that's turned up, I can actually move that loosely. Yeah. This is jamming it in, and you can feel the pressure on your tendon. Yeah. Even on the artery. Like I think you said your arm was going dead last week. Just from the pressure of it all.
So it's like I still get to those end results. Yeah. But it just felt very natural doing that instead of
I reckon
you're doing it.
I reckon maybe don't extend it and almost do it like the roof block if you wanna if it makes it feel more natural than doing the reverse side circular. So like it was on the backhand side, right?
It could be both. It could be like coming down that to that.
Yeah.
And then
actually no, you've added an extra beat.
There's an extra beat, but it's not. I don't know whether it's bad to do.
Like do the scooping then. And it's just here.
Yeah.
So I'm like here, you're just turning that around
straight up.
Where I'm turning that way.
Yeah.
And then just going straight into the back end.
Yeah. It just felt natural.
Yeah. It's just because of the Estrella. But yeah, you've added an extra beat.
Yeah, because it's up, down, and then
I think because you're in the range you are, because you're entering, the extra beat will give you an opportunity to counter and escape.
Right.
Yeah. Like you probably would you maybe would land the upward one, but you wouldn't be able to get to the tricep, I don't think.
Yeah.
So just because
I'd been moving as well.
Yeah.
So it goes down to that.
You got that.
To this.
And as you're doing that would move back on that beat. Because that before you hit the shoulder on the beat that you went up on. Yeah. So this and is then once again, even if I was starting to retract here, and as this turns, that's so close. And as long as you're like you can catch it a lot quicker. The transition from that to that and jamming it is so fast compared to that to that. Because I jam it as you land that. I'm already jamming the tricep on that beat.
Right.
Yeah.
I knew there was an extra one.
It's just a beat counter thing.
Yeah, it just felt natural doing the Estrella. That's all.
But once again, you could test it by going into that and non-enter if you wanted. So like that's what I said before. I'm like, you don't have to do. This is like the Salok Seguidas for the follow-up. So like, say you did a backhand or forehand, doesn't matter. Yeah. So I'm like, you can go here and do a Largo headshot, like hand shot, or here headshot, or Mang Romy likes to go back onto the tendons or back onto the thumb, shove straight into the body like that. Yeah. Come up again. Like you can pick off different targets like that. So if you wanted to, even at the beginning, you can do Salok like this and turn it that way, or go Salok, pull back, and like go up and down. Just take wrist shots off like that. But I feel like you're already facing upwards. So for you to do an upward attack after that means you're reloading, so you're adding an extra 1.5 beats, I think.
Yeah, which is slower.
Because you're going here, retraction for half a beat, then doing the attack, and then you're getting to this.
Yeah, I suppose I didn't have to come back. I could just go straight.
Do it again, because I didn't see you retract before.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
so it's that.
You're Salok, you're retracting all the way to the other side.
Oh, just coming up to here, and that's with the footwork.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. And then so we're going here. Yeah, coming straight in. You're just doing that.
Yeah, but you're right. It is that beat long. Yeah, it is long.
You know what? You're not adding 1.5. You're only adding 1. Because I thought you were adding half a beat for the retraction, but your Salok is circular essentially, and you're coming all the way to like the other side. You are crossing the center line a little bit though, I think.
Because we got to get it past your. Yeah. With your Salok, you're getting it out.
You can't break the principle of passing the center line. It means you're gonna have to rotate your hips a bit more.
But you'd move it.
It just means you got to rotate your hips more.
Yeah, you'd move it down so it's just past you and comes straight up.
So like is it backhand or forehand side?
I can be either.
No, it's a different setup. Like one of them goes to this hip and the other one goes to this hip, so they're completely opposite setups. So I think it's the backhand one you've been doing.
Yeah.
You've been coming here.
So so that is crossed, but
you've brought it all the way here. Yeah.
Well,
and you got your right. You'd have your right foot back because you had to retract your right.
Would be to that.
Yeah, and then you'll come in back in with the right foot and a
straight
backhand.
In.
Yeah.
To down to up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as long as you didn't retract on the upward part, it's not too bad. Yeah. Once again, though, you are extending the beats again, which is making it more dangerous for yourself, because now they've got more chance of you not trapping them. Because you extended the beat before you got the tricep. Yeah. If you extended it after the tricep, it doesn't matter as much. But you're now chasing the tricep, and you've extended your moves as you chase it.
I'd rather do.
Yeah.
I'll do it properly. It just felt when I was just trying it, I thought, I think
it'd be a safe way for you to test. Like if someone did a backhand at you, and you just went Salok.
Yeah.
And just did that. Like I think you could test it like that, and then that way, and then if they did another one, you can then go bang and enter and do what you need. Like you can kind of get the timing down off doing it, and exit with a Largo Estrella move, and then on the next one, you can go Salok to Estrella and exit on the Largo, and then the next one do a Salok to the entry with the reverse side circular, and then follow up with the jamming Seguidas.
So how's your hand position here instead of coming into Estrella?
For the backhand side, so I come to there, but I'm kind of facing that way, so I go to like center line like that.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I almost point the tip back. So I've gone here. Before I was almost pointing it at my hip, as if I was like sheathing the sword.
Yeah, that felt like
I was going here, and I went sheath, and then up my own body. So I was going like here, turn, bang.
But that takes extra beat as well, doesn't it?
Where I'm doing this, and I'm flaring that towards you more now. Instead of pointing the tip back, I don't want to point the tip away from you.
Yeah.
I don't mind if I point it out there a little bit more. But I'm going here, and then I just turn and flare that. And then it's so easy just to turn into that vertical. And that's the same, it's very, I just want to be able to go here, and then turn it into that reverse side circular there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is.
It feels very wax off. Yeah. It's just we don't use the reverse side circular as much. That was the second certificate from Ray. The first one was all that the normal circular side, which is just a lot nicer on the shoulder and the wrist. But
this feels better than last time we were talking about cutting to here.
I think the thing when I said sheathing, pointing the tip away, we're going there to that.
Yeah, it felt. Yeah, it didn't feel as good.
It feels a lot more like Ray's bait. Where like I feel like he'd do this, and even if he didn't cut that, he would just be here.
That feels good.
And then all of a sudden he's in this position just waiting, and he can come over and do that. Or if something came down the middle, he can fall off the middle. And that's also a root block essentially. If he needs to, for some reason, you push back this way, he can turn, change directions.
The sheathing feels like I could be trapped.
We're not really meant to point the tip away from the opponent.
I feel like in that instant, if you come in, you
once again, we're crossing the center line with the weapon then. But I really feel like we're doing the Salok and it's going to the center line. But as I retract my foot, my shoulders are facing that way, so I've retracted, but it's still to my center line. And then I can turn back in.
Which is still perfect.
And then as I turn back in, it's not hard to just throw that.
Right.
And as long as off that, like I'm landing that, I'm going this way, but I'm looking there, and like once I'm facing that way, I don't really square back up again.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm gonna go here, face that direction. It's easy for me to come through and hit that, still facing that direction, and then I'm facing that way for when that comes. Because now I can go straight into that, and it's so much easier to go straight in with the jab than me trying to diagonally flare out and expand. It means I get to stay tight and just go straight into it, which means that this punches up into you. That means I'm paying less attention to my jam, because that's, so if this gets high enough, it just is automatic really.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to figure out like the angle on that so I can get like control of your wrist.
Are you not watching this hand as much though?
Not as much. Well, also because
normally we used to come into here, but we'd be looking at this arm.
I think also once again, because we don't 100% need that shoulder shot. Like it's nice because it cuts them and maybe that'll make them drop their weapon and extra. But it's more just for the positioning and resetting of everything. Because if you do that backhand side, like if I went through here, and as I'm paying attention to that, I'm automatically doing this and stepping forward. If that comes, I can see my peripheral just go, what are you doing?
I was going to say.
So like, it's very easy for that to go. And even if I did this, and then that came, it's not that hard for me to come back across. And once I've hit that, it's actually dragging through your stomach into this tendon and get that still jamming and doing the thing. And make sure you sometimes have to step back. But any of those vertical shots, like just like the Estrella, when we're going up and down, it's very easy if you see that coming to redirect that. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm going to Salok past, and then that's going to turn, and I'm going for that shoulder as that's retracting. So like, and then if I have to, I've got this here. If that comes back through, it's not hard for me to jam and come in. And even here, even once we've got that, if I don't get that forearm, I don't care. So as I've got that, I'm still going to grip it and twist it, and I'm stepping back and feeding that through. And if for some reason I don't get it jammed up here, this just becomes our normal through the stomach, through the tendons. Probably won't get the stomach then, because if I'm here, it becomes more like this. But that doesn't change our stuff that much at all.
Circular side.
I can still lock this in, I can still circular side, I can still get the tendons. And now, if we also here, we can go, oh, I also want to use this one now. So you can, at any point we're in that position, you have the option of circular side, you have the option of that drag and samurai gut move. You could just drive into them and take their balance. You could just start going for like those stabs, like washing the hands done before, where you can just go hack to the neck, or raise adaptation where he steps in and does the stab to the neck. There's a lot of possibilities there.
It's just
But
interesting.
you're asking the right questions though, like what about that hand?
Well, normally when we're going
angles?
in on that shoulder, all we're doing is looking at that hand, because by feel we've got control of it. So
it's because I'm not controlling the wrist yet that I'm kind of looking at it, because I'm going, that's the immediate danger. And but at the same time, I'm not fully boxing out and taking that out. I'm looking here, but I can, with my peripherals, see that side. Okay. Is there any of that you want to?
I'll try this.
Go through?
Of Ray's.
Try both sides again.
The one of Ray's felt better than the sheathing side.
Just doing a Salok like that and cutting, and then just resetting that back to horizontal.
That feels alright.
And once again, we're in like a, not largo, we're in like a media range, like halfway range. So it's kind of a bait, because you've got your blade low down, in range. So it really, like, I want to leave it low, because I want them going high. I can deal with it, like technically, if they didn't go high and you step back and you've waited and you're like, oh, you're waiting for this to come through. It's like maybe you've hit that already, and then you're gonna come through and jam it and do your whole thing, right? And get your forearm on that. But if all of a sudden it came back horizontal, you just do another Salok, because that's the counter to the horizontal. So you could do Salok this side, and then even here go bang on the shoulder, And then if you see this come back, just do another Salok and step back. That's it. It's not that hard to just loop it back into itself. If for some reason it went lower, on the forehand side, I'd probably just tap it through. Once again, it's if you see it, exactly. If you can do those, great. You got the tendons, you got that. If you have more timing for control and you can get deeper, like once again, if it's low, you're not really controlling the punule, and you're behind it parrying, you're not really grabbing it. Up the top, you can jam it. It means if you can jam it, that means you can grab it. It means if you can grab it, you can twist it and affect it, which means that now you can jam this and its possibility. If this is more loose and you're just more scooping it through, I'd step backwards and just cut that.
Just cut through.
Exactly.
And then drive in anyway.
But you see Titan constantly like doing circular sides, doing this stuff, bang, bang, and then all of a sudden they come with something, he just comes through, bang, bang, circular, bang, bang, circular side, bang, bang. He loves these like circular movements. But you'll see that he's going to go here, back into his circular side, and then maybe he doesn't feel comfortable as that came down, maybe something happened, he's going to step back, take that out, and Bagada whilst doing that. But he switched his stance and he switched his angle of his circulars, and now the reverse side circulars are coming through. And then he might just go here, and that's going to come back.
So once again, that sort of stance.
Once again, it's not fully pointing, but the bladed side is. And even then, you could angle it down if you wanted them to like not feel as like,
that feels alright.
This feels okay because once again I'm here. This is like on this side. This just looks so open. And then all of a sudden you're going, oh crap. He's doing this. Even if it doesn't work, once again, it just goes through, picks off, just keeps going. If he wants, he can come under. He's got the hack to go straight through the wrist, because maybe you're good enough to wax off with that. If that's the case, he can come up with that. If he doesn't want to, he can drag and cut. He has so many options in these positions. If you don't like one of them, you just go back to one that you do like. It's truly fascinating. Like the martial art has so much depth to it, and it looks so cool as well.
That transitioning was great. This here.
I've really been thinking. I've been trying to figure this move out for like 11 or 12 years since Mang Romy was doing it on me. I've been looking at Titan's videos, Mang Romy's, Floro's, going, what's the connection? I can't figure it out. But what it really came down to was that I kept doing an Estrella up this way, when really it was a punch, and it was blade up, but it was just the opposite blade up. That's like a step back hack. And this is like a punch. Like, it's so interesting. And once again, I think we're doing it last time. I had this and I was feeding through. But then this is up here. I could kind of turn it into your arm, like this. But it's so off, and you can just push that and collapse it. Where here, I'm like T-Rex, elbows in the middle. I'm like framing. Feels like I'm doing like a jiu-jitsu frame. Or,
and then when you tilt,
exactly.
Totally going over.
And then now I have posture, and I'm T-Rex and stronger. And once again, I'm just using weight shifting really. Nice.
Okay.
Alright, might have to call it and go to class. Alright. But thank you for that. So that's the Salok scoops, which counter mostly for horizontal moves when you're in range. At long range, you could easily do like Renata Horns of the Bull or just a normal X, because that's more of a ghosting move. But this one I think is for, you've mistimed it and you're kind of closer, you're a little bit more mid-range or quarter. And that's the opposite to a seating parry, which is for a vertical move when your tip's not forward. Which once again, maybe I've gone past with an attack and my tip's out, and you've done some vertical attacking, and I can go here to thrust, to retraction. Ilustrisimo in everything. That's it. No, thank you, man. Legends. Merry Christmas.
Yes. That was good.